What's up guys, it's Fred from Influencer Unchained, and in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to set up and customize a website from scratch in less than 20 minutes without having to do any coding whatsoever. First, we're going to start with signing up for web hosting and a domain, followed by a step-by-step demonstration on how to design a website using an easy drag and drop plugin, and at the end, I'll even show you how you can download the exact template I create in this video to use and customize it as your own. And with how easy and inexpensive it is to have your own website nowadays, I believe there's pretty much no reason not to have one, especially given how useful they can be, for example for blogging, housing your own portfolio or branding page, or creating an online business and functional pages like landing pages you'll need for it, or just even all of these things at once. You can create as many pages as you want, and with the method I'm going to show you today, customize them incredibly easily just by dragging and dropping stuff where you want. And before we get started with the video, consider also subscribing to my YouTube channel for more videos about making money online and digital entrepreneurship just like this one. And with that, let's get started with the video. So before we dive into setting up web hosting and a domain, I want to first give you a glimpse of what the WordPress dashboard looks like. It's quite easy to use, and you can navigate around it using the menu on the left, and you also get to select certain themes to essentially serve as templates for your web pages. WordPress is what I use for my website, and having used it for about a year now, I can say that my experience with it has been nothing but pleasant. In fact, lots of big name brands like Bloomberg and the Rolling Stone also use WordPress for their websites. Now the thing with WordPress is that it can be a bit difficult for beginners to know where exactly to get started. You can think of WordPress as not only a blank canvas, but you also start with an empty toolbox which will have to be filled with specific plugins that perform specific jobs. And so in today's video, after having experimented with lots of different plugins, of which there are probably thousands of different ones that people have contributed, which goes to show how incredibly versatile WordPress is, I've narrowed it down to a very minimalistic, easy to use, yet effective group of free tools that I'm going to show you exactly how to use. And as we get started, you can actually head to the link in the description box to find the companion resource for this video that comes with some important tools and links to help you along the way. You can also join my Facebook group to get free support from myself and other fellow members, as well as resources and frequent updates. And now, beginning with step 1 of the process to creating your own website, you need to first not only come up with a domain name, otherwise known as the URL of your website, but also test whether it is still available. For example, in my case, Influencer Unchained was obviously the domain name I took, and if we use the tool here to check by just typing it in, we can see that it's no longer available. So go ahead and just use this to test out your desired URLs, and even if some of them are already taken, you can actually also try adding hyphens between words to test those out as well. And once you have settled with the domain name, we can then move on to step 2, which is to register for that domain name and to acquire web hosting. And the provider that we'll be using will be Bluehost, not only because of their competitive pricing, starting at only $3.95 per month for all this, so we have a free domain for 1 year with web hosting, plus a very convenient one-click WordPress installation. Now, if you purchase a plan right now, it'll be at this greatly discounted price as you can see, which also comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. This is an affiliate link, so I will earn a commission if you buy it through my link, but it's at no additional cost to you if you choose to do so. If anything, doing so would be a great way to support and compliment me for putting together this guide, and also know that I only promote products that I actually use and really believe in, and Bluehost is definitely one of them. And with that, I'm going to go right into taking you through the actual process of signing up with Bluehost, along with my personal recommendations for which package and options to select along the way. And now to begin, you're going to want to go ahead and click on this Get Started button right here. And the first page you arrive at will be this one where you have to pick a plan, and if you just want to have one website on which you can still create as many pages as you want, the basic plan here will suffice. And after you selected your plan, you can now enter that domain name you decided on earlier using my website, but since I've already set mine up, just for this demo, I'm going to select Create My Domain later. But again, here you want to actually finalize yours. Now we're at the important part, so pay close attention. First, you'll need to fill in your name, address, and contact information. Then, for the account plan, you can choose to go with however long you want, though obviously the longer the plan you select, the less it'll cost you, and with how important it is to have a website nowadays, especially if you're running a business, I definitely recommend going with a 3-year plan here. Next, as for the package extras, the one I recommend is Site Lock Security, which is the first option here, because what it does for you is routinely scans your website to check for malware so you don't get blocked or spammed, and not only protects your site as well as your information, but also increases the credibility and trust of your site. Besides that, if you want the option to be able to back up your website, which I would have really appreciated after so much trial and error, you can also check the second add-on here called CodeGuard Basic. But with the method and plugins I'm going to show you in a bit, this shouldn't be necessary because of the very solid and easy enough to use toolkit that you'll have. Finally, the last thing you have to do here is to enter your payment information and to check out. As you can see here, I obviously already have my website and domain, but what you'll want to do the first time you enter your Bluehost dashboard is to hit the create new site link here to perform the one-click WordPress installation, and once that's finished, which should only take you a few minutes, you already have your very own domain and website ready for you to customize just like that.
A few moments later.
Welcome to your WordPress dashboard. In here, you'll be able to easily navigate to different aspects of your site via the menu on the left. And before we go through some of these features, the very first thing you'll actually want to do is to pick and install a theme for your site. And for that, you'll want to go to the Appearance tab here and select Themes. Next, in order for my methods and plugins to work optimally, you want to find and install this theme here called Ocean WP, which is what I use. And to do so, you'll want to head here to where it says Add New Theme, click on it, and search for this specific theme here to install it. Yes, there are, and I've tried out many different themes, but Ocean WP is what I've found to work the best with Elementor, which is a drag and drop plugin you use to customize your WordPress site. With the theme installed, you'll then have essentially a template for all the pages of your site. However, without any plugins, your customization options will be limited. But before we actually get into that, let me show you some quick settings you can actually do with the theme itself to have it applied across all of your pages, most notably your default fonts, background, and the menu bar up here. First, to customize your theme settings, you'll need to open up any existing page or create a new page by going to the Pages tab. For example, here I'm going to add a new page to my site. As you can see here, you can first add a title to your page, which will also become part of its URL, and I'm just going to type in demo here. Then, below, you can also briefly customize the layout of your page. Now, we use the Elementor plugin, it's not going to matter too much, but one feature I always make sure to disable is the page title, which is this chunk that shows up across the page right here. And to do so, you can go back to here to where it says title and simply just select disable. If you want to create something like a landing page though, where you don't want your site's menu to be displayed, you can also disable the header. But anyway, let's go ahead and save our draft real quick on the top right and go ahead and preview our page. Of course, to do so, simply hit the preview button next to the save button. And this is what my blank page looks like with this menu bar that displays over all the pages that I create. So let me now show you how you can do the same. First, you'll want to head to the very top here to hit this link that reads Customize. And with that, you'll be able to customize some of the default settings of your theme, like the background color or image, and the default colors of your text. I've personally left most of these settings as their defaults while keeping the background a simple white, but if you do want to customize any of these settings, you can just head over to General Options here, then General Styling, and then scroll through to see which colors you want to change or your background. Next, I'm going to show you how you can implement a header and a menu bar just like mine. To do so, you want to head back to the menu here, the main menu that is, then go to Header, which is right here, and then go to General first. And here you can actually customize the look and feel of your header. For example, I've chosen mine to be transparent, meaning that if there's any type of content that spans the entire page, for example, your header will actually display over that while being somewhat transparent. And also, if you actually choose the transparent header, you'll also have to go down to the very bottom where you can actually change the color of that header. And so if you don't choose to go with the transparent setting, the color change of your header will actually be up here instead. Next, let's take a look at how you can add a logo and menu links to your header. So first, I'm going to again hit the back button here, then we're going to go over to logo. So as you can see here, I've uploaded my own PNG, which is a transparent background image to be my logo, and you can obviously do the same. And moving on, I'm going to go back again, and this time I'm going to hit the menu button here. And this here is not where you actually add your links, but rather where you customize the display options of them. So for example, here I've set mine to white and to turn blue if I hover over them. And I also have a setting where if someone is currently on the same page as that link, it'll display as red instead of white. So go ahead and just play with some of these settings to see which ones you prefer. Moving on, to actually add menu items to our header, we're going to again head back to the main menu, and then this time we're going to actually head to menus up here. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to be customizing my main menu here. As you can see, I already have several links set up on it, and all you have to do to set up yours is to click on this add items button here to add a new link to an already existing page on your website. Now, there are some other overall theme settings you can tinker with, but I like to keep it fairly minimalistic and use our actual website builder plugin to handle all the important features of each page. So with that, we're now finally ready to move on to the next important bit of step 3, which is to download our plugins. Specifically, we'll want to install the Elementor and the Yoast SEO plugins, and to get them, we'll want to head back to our WordPress dashboard here, go over to the left menu again, and scroll to where it says plugins and hit add new. And here you'll be able to browse and search for plugins using the search bar on the right. So first, let's type in Elementor, and that's Elementor. And as you can see, we have here the Elementor page builder, which is a very popular plugin that has been installed over 3 million times and has been highly rated as well, at about 5 stars on average with over 4,700 reviews. So go ahead and install, and also remember to activate Elementor. Next, we're going to want to search for a second plugin, which is Yoast SEO. What this essential plugin does is allow you to easily customize the keywords and meta description, which is the snippet that shows up for your page on search engines, and also shows you how you can improve your pages for SEO. I'm not going to cover it too much in this video, but I will show you how it works in a bit. Anyway, go ahead and install and activate it as well. Moving on, I'm now going to show you how to use Elementor to create a basic homepage, and first I'm going to go back to the Pages tab to revisit our demo page. Here we're going to see some of the pages I've created, and I'm just going to go back into our demo page. And once you get to this page, to actually activate Elementor for it, you have to hit the link at the very top that says Edit with Elementor. But before we get into that, let me first show you how Yoast SEO actually works by scrolling down here. So first, as you can see, it actually shows you your meta description of your site, which you can also edit. As I've mentioned, this is the short description that displays on search engines for your site. But besides that, you can also check out the SEO analysis, which details the tweaks you can make to it to improve its SEO. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and edit our page using Elementor. Editing a webpage with Elementor is as easy as dragging and dropping stuff onto a blank canvas. But first, it's important to note that the header and menu I've just shown you how to customize will indeed show up on the live page, but not while it's being edited by Elementor. Anyway, I'm now going to show you how to create a simple homepage or call to action page, and I also show you how you can upload this exact template to use and alter as your own. First up, we're going to add a so-called heading to the page. Usually, I would first add a spacer at the very top, which does exactly as its name implies by adding literal space to that block and shifting everything else down in order for the heading and my menu bar at the top to not overlap. However, the only page I don't do this with is my home page, because as you can see here, the menu lies on top of my banner image quite nicely, and that's what we're going to try to replicate here as well. And to do that, I'm actually going to go ahead and delete the spacer here and straight up just add a heading by dragging it in. And here I can first customize my text, for example by changing it to something like my website, although you could go with whatever you want. And also, if you look here at the left, you can also change up the style of the text, so you can change the color, for example, and also the font and the size. So let's first make it really big, and the rest I'm just going to keep as is. Next, what a lot of websites will have is some kind of call to action button here like this one, so let's try to do that as well. And for that, I'm going to again navigate back to the main menu of Elementor to find the widget for the button and again drag it in. Notice how instead of dragging it down here to where the box is, I dragged it up to combine it into the same section as my header. And the reason I did this is so that I can position and format them at the same time and add a background that stretches across both. But to first deal with the button individually, we can again click on it to open up the editor on the left. And here we can, for example, change up the text of the button. So for example, I can go with start now or whatever. And then down here we can obviously add a link for your button, but I'm not going to do that, and you can just add a link to whatever page you want. And down here we can also change up the size of the button as well as the alignment. And speaking of alignment, I also want to realign my heading to make it match my button. So I'm just going to click on it again, go over to content and alignment and hit center. Now, what I also really like to do with my buttons is add an on hover effect. And to do that, I'm gonna again click on my button to go into the customization options. Then at the very top, I wanna hit the style tab. And over here where it says hover, I'm actually gonna toggle over and then select my hover animation. So there's actually a large selection that you can pick from, but I found grow to work typically quite well. And you can actually test out each effect by just selecting one and then hovering your cursor over the button. So for example, this is what grow does. It literally just grows bigger. And the other thing that I like to do with buttons is to add a border. And to do that, we can first select a border type that we may like. So let's say a double here. And then to make the border actually show up, we actually have to also increase the width here. So if I just increase it, it'll actually start coming out. And besides that, something else that's also really cool and professional looking is the box shadow. So to add it, you can just select the box shadow here, and then down here we can first select the color to be black, and then as you can see there's actually a shadow under my button now, and I can also shift the shadow by moving it. Typically I like to move it to the right a little bit and down as well. And this actually makes the button look like it's sort of hovering out of the page, which is pretty cool. But anyway, now I'm going to add a background to the top part of my site. And to do that, I have to hover my cursor over to this section here to then click on this tiny button in the middle to customize it. Next, you want to make sure that you're in the style tab, then open up the background options here to then down here choose an image to upload to become your background. And to find royalty-free images, you can use a website called Pixabay, but here I'm just going to use one of my pre-existing ones as an example. And so I'm just going to select this and hit insert media at the bottom right. Now I can just make some other minor adjustments such as the size here, so I can change it from default to cover, which will actually shrink the image to fit this entire block here. And if I want to actually increase the size of my background relative to my website title and button here, I can actually head to the advanced tab to go to where it says padding and then increase the padding. And besides that, I probably want to also update the color of my website title again, but you can obviously do that pretty easily yourself. But just to make it look better, I'm just gonna go back really quick to edit heading, and then to change the style here to like a different color. So let's say red, or actually let's try yellow. And to match that, I'm also going to change up my button color real quick by again clicking on it, going to style and then button and then background color to choose a more attractive color here. Let's try orange. Next, I'm going to quickly just run through some of the other important widgets you can add with Elementor, starting with the divider. For example, I can also drag one down into here below my button, and what it'll do is create an actual line, or obviously a divider between whatever's above and whatever's below it. You can't really see it right now, and that's because of the color and the width, so let me go ahead and correct that really quick by changing up the style to something like, let's say, curly, and then aligning it towards the middle, going to style and changing the weight to, I don't know, like 6, changing the color as well to, let's say, white. And I can also go back here to adjust the width to make it a bit shorter. And with that, my divider will serve to separate my button and the text I'm about to add by going back to the Elementor dashboard again, and then going to, let's see, up here, going to text editor and dragging this underneath my divider. The text tool along with the heading tool is very important because it allows you to type actual words into it and customize them using a basic editor similar to Microsoft Word. And for example, with this snippet here, you can actually have something like a description for your product or service. And I can again obviously change the color of the text here by highlighting this paragraph here and going over to text color and changing it to, let's say, white. And just to leave you with a more complete template, I'm going to add another divider down here, as well as another, if I just go back again, another text editor for you to add, for example, a disclaimer for your website. But with the easy drag and drop nature of Elementor, the sky is really the limit, and so you can obviously customize it the way you want. Now, if you want special features like the post carousel that I have on my website, you'll have to upgrade to Elementor Pro, which isn't very costly at $49 per year. Now, I didn't find a need for it at first, but did start using it later down the line for building landing pages. And for some other quick tips, on your Elementor editor, you can also actually preview your website in different formats between desktop and tablet and mobile by going to the bottom left here and selecting responsive mode and then selecting the one you want to preview for. So for example, if I go to tablet, we can see that it still works, and if I go to mobile, it sort of shrinks a bit more but still sort of works. In which case I can perhaps go over to my heading and change up the font size. But anyway, for another really useful tip that I missed earlier, let me just first switch back to desktop mode really quick. It's that if you go back to your WordPress dashboard here, under pages and then your specific page, you'll actually have the option to change your content layout to 100% full width. And what this does is, instead of having your content sort of confined to the left side here while allocating the right side to a right menu, it actually expands to the entire width of the page. And for example, let me first go back to this page here and hit save. So you can actually save your websites here at the very bottom left. So I'm just gonna click save draft, and then back on our dashboard, again, I'm gonna change this to 100% full width and also hit save draft. And now if we just preview the website, we can see that it actually is gonna expand to the entire width of the page like this. And speaking of which, I probably also need to move my header down just a little bit to not be colliding with my menu here. So to do that, again, I'm gonna go back here, and actually I'm gonna go here and add a spacer right above my title. I can even adjust the space a little bit, and that should suffice. Again, I'm just gonna go to the bottom left again and hit save. And with that, if I just go back to my preview here and actually refresh the page, it should turn out okay. And there it is. Finally, as promised, I'm now going to save this page as a template so that you can download it for yourself and re-upload it to your own WordPress website. And for that, I'm going to actually head back to my Elementor editor here, go to the bottom left where there's a green arrow next to the publish button, hit it, and select save as template. And after I name my template, for example, WordPress demo 1, I can just hit save. And with that, this page is going to get saved along with the rest of my templates, as you can see down here at the bottom. But to access it, I need to go back to my WordPress dashboard here and go to the left menu here to where it says templates. And here to download the template we just saved so that I can re-upload it elsewhere for you to use, I'm going to locate it right here. As you can see, we have WordPress demo 1, and I'm just going to hit export template and it's going to start my download. Next, after the template has been downloaded, I'm going to actually head over to Google Drive here so that I can upload it and then give you the link so that you can download it. So here I'm just going to drag in my template here. Again, this is all just to show you that I'm actually doing this live. You obviously don't have to go through this process yourself, as all you have to do is download my template from my link, then upload it over on your own WordPress account. And now let me just rename this file real quick to something like, let's see, Influencer Unchained template. Okay, hit OK. And to set up your download link, I'm going to now right click this to click on get shareable link, and then that'll actually generate a link for you to be able to download this file. But to set up this link, I'm going to now go back to my build a website page here, and actually down here there's a button to download the template. I'm going to now paste this link into this specific button here and hit update. And actually, I'm also going to change the link options to have it open in a new window. So I'm just going to tick this real quick and hit update again. And after that's done processing, I'm just going to go to the left here again to hit the button that says preview changes to preview my website. So if I just scroll down to step 4 and hit the link here, it should bring us to my Google Drive file. So as you can see, it opens up nicely. With all this code here, you don't obviously have to care about this. All you have to do is to go to the top right here and hit the download button to download the actual template file. And once that's taken care of, I'm now going to show you how you can then upload that file to use as a template. And for that, we're going to head back to the WordPress dashboard. And this time we're going to go over to the templates link. And this time you'll want to head to the very top here to where it says import templates, and then choose the file you just downloaded to upload. Then simply click import now to import that template. And as you can see, we've just added another copy of that template to our list here. And to actually use it, I'm going to go over to pages again and actually select add new. And over here on the new page customization page, we can first do our standard setup for a new page. So again, I'd like to go to title and disable the title. And also under main here, I want to go to 100% full width. Then I'm also going to name my page, so let's say demo 2, and I'm going to hit up here where it says edit with Elementor. And once you're into your fresh page, all you have to do is to, instead of clicking on the left here or dragging in any widget, you want to hit this folder looking icon here to add a template. So let me just try that. And on the right here, the right tab, there's going to be one that says my templates. By the way, you can also use some other of these templates, but just to use mine, I'm going to hit my templates, and down here to where it says WordPress demo, I'm just going to hit insert and click yes. And that is how you import a template to a new page. Before we go, I want to remind you that my companion resource for this video guide can be found at influencerunchained.com/create-a-website, and it will also be linked in the description box. Additionally, do consider joining our free Facebook group as well for more resources, updates, and where I answer questions. YouTube has been flagging a lot of innocent comments as spam lately, and with this channel's recent growth in viewership, I'm not always going to be able to see your comments on YouTube right away, so Facebook would actually be a better place to ask questions. Lastly, if you scroll towards the bottom of this page, you'll also find some bonus resources such as a link to the logo design gig that I personally use for my logo, as well as a link to an excellent 15-day affiliate marketing training course to help you turn your website into a full-fledged business. I've gone through it as well, and so I can vouch for the high quality of the training. Simply hit this link to get started with it right away. And with that, we have finally reached the end of today's video. If you found it helpful or learned something at all, consider subscribing to my YouTube channel for more videos about making money online and digital entrepreneurship. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.